do you get when you mix water, paint, and a water squirter? Some awesome art. And all you need is these things: a drop sheet, a medium-sized paintbrush, some shredded newspaper, scissors, cut up cardboard, some paint of your choice, at least 3 different colors. I've gone with a metallic silver, a metallic gold, and a blue. Glue. I actually made my own glue. Half a cup of water and half a cup of flour mixed all together. And I also have some super glue. 2 water squirters, and make sure that you've got a big enough hole so that you can squeeze all your paint in there. And we have 1 medium-sized canvas and some water. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing you need to do is grab your canvas and your shredded newspaper and dip it into your paste and glue away. Using the tip of your finger, just make sure all the edges are stuck down. And I'm just adding the last piece on. Phew. And next we're going to get our small pieces of card, which I've cut up about that big, and we're going to put them on in a straight, even line. It's making a nice pattern. I've cut my squares into rectangles, but you can use anything. Squares, stars, hearts. We're going to use our super glue to stick them down. So that's done. Now I'm going to lay it out in the sun for a couple of hours or leave it overnight. So now that's dry, it's time to have some fun. So what I'm going to do is take my water squirter and fill it up with a decent amount of silver metallic paint, followed by some blue, and then add a little bit of water. Now using the end of your paintbrush, you're just going to give, oops, paint in my mouth. Stick it into the water gun and mix around the paint a little bit. Now it's all mixed up, I'm going to put my finger at the top of the water squirter and give it a really good shake. Bit of a dance, bit of a boogie, but we're going to test it on the drop sheet just to make sure you've got the right consistency. All right, let's do it. Now that we've tested it and we know it works, we're going to squirt it nice and evenly across our artwork. And so you just want to go over the top of it, nice and smooth, not splattering everywhere. And now I'm going to repeat the process with metallic gold. Time to squirt. You can glue down any loose bits with your paintbrush and just some paste. Smooth it all out, and then once it's done, you can let it dry. And if you want to add any extra colours, you just grab your water squirter, wash it out, and fill it up with some paint, and away you go. You know what? I think mine looks great. And it was so much fun, I think I'm going to have to make another one.
My name's Joe Darling, and I'm a potter. Start with a ball of clay, squishy and soft, and we prepare that on the table to bring it to the wheel, and then we spin it around and we put the clay into like a vessel shape, something that looks a little bit like a cup or a bowl. The clay, when you start, is very soft and malleable because it has a lot of water in it. And then when it dries, it gets fired the first time and it converts actually to ceramic. If I make a mistake, I appreciate that I made a mistake. Maybe I can learn from it. And then I'm going to squish it all up into a ball and start over again. Once it's dried, then we put it into something like an oven that bakes it at a very high temperature, and that's called a kiln. And when it comes out of the kiln, it's given a glaze coating of powdered glass with water, and then that's fired again in the kiln, and it comes out as a finished pot. After I take it out of the kiln, then I'll coat it with a variety of colors, and red is my favorite color. Now, I've been a potter for almost 30 years. I can make little people, big people, dogs, birds, trees, bottles, jugs, jars, bowls, plates, platters, saucers. I could make doorknobs, kitchen sinks, toilets. There's no limit to what you can make with clay. At any age, you can start making things with clay, even pinched pots and simple sculptural forms. I think one of the most important parts of pottery is the wheel. And the wheel is providing us this platform that spins where we can form our vessel in an even way and distribute the clay so that it forms and flows under your fingertips. When the lump of clay is put onto the wheel and it's spinning around, you're squishing it together and opening it up and squeezing the walls so that the clay squishes and rises. And as you slowly bring your hands higher, that squished wall turns into a higher wall. The tools that we use to create a pot on the wheel, things like sticks and pins to scrape and shape the clay. We use what is something called a rib that maybe used to be a rib of an actual bone, but nowadays it's simply a longer, flatter piece of wood. We use water to keep this surface slippery. Once the clay is formed, we cut it off the wheel with a wire, lay it on a board to carry it around with so that it's safe and protected. When it dries, it'll be much harder. I'm Joe Darling, and I'm a potter. I'm an artist that makes pots.
These are my favorite pair of shorts, but they're so old. Today I'm gonna show you how to make your favorite shorts last forever. Here's what you'll need. Fabric, paper, a ruler, your favorite pair of shorts, scissors, markers, elastic, pin, and of course, the sewing machine. The first step is to turn your shorts inside out. Now tuck one leg inside the other. Grab your paper and roll it out. We're going to draw the back part of the shorts first. Look for the tag, which is usually at the back of the shorts. Place it down so that the tag is on the seam, which is the curvy bit. With your marker, carefully trace around the outside of the leg, down the bottom, and up around near the curve. When you get to the top of the shorts, don't draw all the way up, just stop where the elastic is, and we'll rule a line later. Now we can place our favorite pair of shorts to the side. We're gonna fix the lines up with the ruler. Just go over all the lines, straightening them up. Mark in fold on the long straight edge of your shorts. Now we're going to add seam allowances. So on the top, we're gonna add 4 centimeters. On the curvy side, we're gonna add 2 centimeters, and on the bottom, we're gonna add 2 centimeters. Okay, lid back on, and using your scissors, cut the pattern out. Now we're gonna repeat the exact same process, but on the other side. To do this, we just need to flip over our shorts so that the front is facing up. And there we have both our front and back patterns. We're going to grab our fabric and fold it in half. You need about 1 to 1.5 meters off the roll. Place your patterns on the fold of the fabric and pin both patterns in place. Now we've all pinned down, grab your scissors and cut around all the edges. Now we're going to unpin all the pins, which is near the folded edge. With your scissors, cut along the fold. Repeat the exact same thing on the other pattern. Now take out the rest of the pins. So I've got the right side and the right side. The right side is the pattern side, and I'm going to place them together. And we're going to pin all along this curve. I'm all pinned in place. Now sew along those lines and remember to take out the pins as you're sewing. Okay, all done. We're going to repeat the exact same step on the front now. Removing pins as you go. Now we're going to put our shorts together. Open up your shorts and place right sides together. Then going to pin down the edges of the shorts. When you're all pinned in place, sew over those lines, remembering to take out the pins while you're sewing. Remember to have an adult with you when you're using the sewing machine. Now pin all around the inside of the legs. Once again, sewing all along that line. Okay, all done. Now we're going to attach the elastic to the shorts. To do this, we need to measure out the elastic. Now I find the best way to measure out your elastic is to just put it around your waist and feel when it's comfortable. Now using the sewing machine, attach both ends of the elastic together. Okay, put your elastic over the top end of your shorts. We're super close to finishing. All we have to do now is hem the bottom, so turn it up 1 centimetre and sew all around the bottom. And there we have it. Our old shorts have a brand new look. And if these ones run out, well, you can always use them to make another pair.
I'm here with Dean at the Museum of Old and New Art, and Dean, I have to say, this is the stinkiest artwork I've ever been around. What exactly is it?
It's art that requires a peg for your nose.
Right.
Well, it's called cloaca, and cloaca is a Latin word for sewer, which relates to poo. So this is an artistic representation of the digestive tract, meaning food in, and the stomach digests the food, and then food out.
Right, and who exactly made this?
Wim Devois is the guy who made it. He's a Belgian artist. He does a lot of really different stuff, from tattooed backs to working with chucks made of steel and a whole range of cloacas that are some are small and some are really big. And this is the only permanently installed and privately owned one.
Are they all as smelly as this one?
Yep.
Right, now do you think this is actually art? Like, is this art to you?
I do. And one of the good things about the Museum of Old and New Art is that it explores art, not just art for the eyes, but art for the mind.
And the nose.
And the nose. So one of the great quotes by Wim himself is that he thinks that it's possible that all modern art has gone to rubbish. So this is a representation of a machine that makes rubbish, in a sense.
Nice.
We feed it in the bowl at this end. It's like an incinerator you might have in your sink at home. Choose the food. It gets pumped up through acid and alkaline combined to make a nice neutral pH balance. And it goes through a series of stomachs and intestines that are kept nice and warm, and we give it things to help it digest the food. And then at the end of it, doesn't poo.
The action happens.
The action happens.
Now you said to come back at 2. What was that?
Well, as soon as something goes in and gets digested, at 2 o'clock it comes out.
Right, and who cleans that?
Not me.
Right, not you.
Back of house.
Dean, thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate it. So I'll see you after lunch, yeah? 2 o'clock. Perfect. Okay, it's 2 o'clock. Camera's ready for action. Oh, here it comes. Yeah. Well, there you are, something that joins us all together. No matter who you are or where you are, we all have a digestive system. It's beautiful, isn't it? Kind of stinky.
love taking pictures and having something straight away to hold in my hand, but sometimes it can be a bit hard to find a frame to fit such a photo. So today I'm going to show you how to make your very own funky photo frames, and it's going to be a macaron. What could be better? Here's what you'll need. A plastic water bottle, some oven-baked coloured clay, a notebook, scissors, wire, a scratchy tool, baking paper and a baking tray, and an oven mitt. So grab your first colour of the clay, clear your bench space a bit. I'm going to go with green, and I only need about half of this. So I'm going to break it in half, start squishing it and rolling it into a ball. This is going to be one of the shells to my macaron. Keep rolling so it's super smooth. Perfect. Now just do the exact same with the other side. So we have 2 macaron shells. Just keep rolling and rolling, no cracks or crevices. We need a really nice round shape. Just like that. Now grab the white clay. This is going to be the filling of our macaron. So we just need about a quarter of this entire block. That should do it. And do exactly the same that you did with the green ones and roll, 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 roll. Okay. Our filling is all rolled. Now it's time to take our notebook, press down on the green clay, and we're going to keep them together. So that way when we press down, they're going to be exactly the same width. So gently line it up and press. Perfect. Alrighty, now these are our macaron shells. I'm going to take the scratchy tool and gently go all the way around the edge. Now that we've done a scratch line all the way around, start scratching all over with your scratchy tool. Just doing random strokes back and forth. This is an extra little step because it adds a little bit of detail to make the macaron look extra realistic at the end. Once you've finished scratching both your coloured macarons, it's time to squish the filling. So just do exactly the same thing, grab your notebook and press down. Ta-da! Now we want to get our coloured macarons so the scratching is facing up and the scratching is facing down. Pop it in, put it together and just give one small squish, just to really secure it. And there we have it, our first macaron. So before we put it in the oven to bake, I'm going to take our wire and just take the end of it. We're going to make a template hole for where the wire will stick in after we've cooked it in the oven. In the middle, press it down and back out again. So that's one macaron done. Now it's time to make the other 3. There we go, all of my macarons are done. Pop them in the oven for 30 minutes on 130 degrees. Make sure you get an adult to do this part with you. So macarons are fresh out of the oven and they smell great. I'm just kidding. Now it's time to curl our wire while we let them cool down. And this is where the plastic water bottle comes in handy, because what I'm going to do is take the end and gently curl it around the neck of the bottle. You can also use anything similar shape, like a glue stick if you've got that. Loop it around just a few times. And then cut. This is to stick in the top of our macaron, the letter P, with a straight stem down, and we're going to take our macaron, now that it's all nice and cool, and stick it in like this. Just like that. And grab your photo, here's one I prepared earlier, Voila! Your tasty photo frame.